Are you looking for the best tablets? In this video we will look at some of the 7 best tablets on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Remarkable 2. Up until the Remarkable Paper Pro's launch, the Remarkable 2 was my go-to writing and note-taking tablet. Like the Paper Pro, the Remarkable 2 is a no-frills digital notebook, and it also happens to be one of the best writing experiences I've ever tested. The 10.2-inch display is sized similarly to all of my other top picks on this list, and it feels like there's plenty of space for me to jot notes. It uses the Linux-based Remarkable OS software, which allows you to zoom in and out and move up and down the page, and it's great for lists and plenty more. For those who don't want to worry much about battery life, rest assured that the Remarkable 2 has lasted me for a couple weeks despite hours of daily use each day. I have 2 issues with the Remarkable 2, but they're both very minor. Firstly, the pen is not especially durable. I purchased my Remarkable 2 in 2021, and since then, I've replaced the pen twice. Once it simply rolled off my desk, another time my kitten knocked it off a nightstand. If you're careful, the pen will last some time, but if you're prone to accidents, you'll want something sturdier. The other issue? The Remarkable 2 is the only option on this list without any backlight. So during my years of using this device, I've always found it irksome when I wanted to work on a darkened plane. Otherwise, though, it wasn't that big of a deal after all. If you're working in an office, odds are the lights will be bright enough to easily see your notes. But if you're traveling and may not have access to a brightly lit space, that should be a consideration. At number 2. Amazon Kindle Scribe. The Amazon Kindle Scribe, when announced in 2022, was a game changer for fans of the Amazon Kindle line. It was a dual notebook/e-reader combo. The new 2024 Kindle Scribe keeps the same 10.2-inch display with adjustable warm backlight, and both the display and the backlight is my favorite of all the writing tablets I tested. I can brighten it if needed, or I can dim it so I don't blind myself while writing on a long-haul flight. It's especially comfortable on my eyes during long working sessions. Like most readers, the display is only black and white, so don't expect to color code your notes. And while owners of older models can't write directly on the pages, this latest model finally offers that kind of annotations. Christopher Labruto, product manager on the Kindle team at Amazon, says it's a one-of-a-kind in-book writing feature called Active Canvas, which automatically creates space for your notes so you never have to cut a thought short. I've found Active Canvas is a useful way to integrate notes on the page, since you can build a box, jot down whatever you need and it stays in place if you adjust the text. Amazon might sound like it's boasting when it calls its own product unique, but the company seems to be standing on firm ground. My favorite part of the Kindle Scribe is its integration with the Kindle OS, which allows me to access my reading library, and thus reduce my carry-on footprint when traveling. I don't need to haul around a separate Kindle Paperwhite. And if you splurge on a Microsoft Office 365 subscription, the Kindle Scribe allows you to take notes and create comments in Word. Paired with the Kindle app, you can display marked up documents on both your phone and tablet. It's pretty savvy for on-the-go multitasking. It doesn't offer Google Docs integration, so plan to add a Google Chrome extension to your PC or phone, not the Scribe itself. That said, there's a caveat: the pen. Like most writing tablets on this list, the nibs wear out and have to be replaced occasionally. I found that the Kindle Scribe required a new nib every month or so. A casual writer or someone who doesn't press too hard on the display may get more mileage, but still, the nibs aren't especially sturdy at the time of this writing, even with the new model. At number 3. Kobo Elipsa 2e. The Kobo Elipsa 2e is a great choice if you're looking for a much more compact writing tablet. At 10.2 inches, the Elipsa 2e has a similar ink display size as the Kindle Scribe, and until recently, it was a technology trailblazer for its software integrations which allowed you to write directly on ebook pages. That's a huge plus, as at the time of this writing, Amazon had only recently introduced that with its latest version of the Kindle Scribe. Like the Remarkable Paper Pro, the pen requires charging, but unlike the Remarkable, it doesn't charge when clipped to the side of the device. It offers up to 40 hours of battery life, and I didn't run into any dead battery situations while testing. That said, I found the stylus to be less responsive than either the Remarkable or Kindle writing tablets. There were a couple of times when I thought I jotted something down and it didn't register on the display. Like the Scribe, it has a smoother surface which feels pretty seamless when I'm writing on it. The Kobo OS is pretty solid, with a separate notebook panel for creating notes. Choose from a series of templates to get the best one for your needs, which I found was helpful for organizing notes. Even better, you can choose from 15 different file types, including EPUB, PDF, and many more. If you're using this as a 2-in-1 notebook and e-reader, keep in mind that the Kobo library isn't as robust as Kindle. You can hook up your library card to your local library to reserve and download ebooks, something I'd had a big beef with Kindle over the need to sideload the books rather than directly download them. But the store isn't nearly as expansive as the Kindle, which is a shame. At number 4. Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 FE. While it's not a high-performance monster like the OnePlus Pad 3, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 FE does everything most people will need, provided you understand its limitations. The 10.9-inch LCD screen is perfectly sized for use on the couch, in bed, or on the move. The 497-gram weight isn't excessive and is evenly distributed for comfortable in-hand balance, but the corners on the 6mm thick chassis can eventually dig into your palm and cause some fatigue during extended use. The Galaxy Tab S10 FE doesn't use an AMOLED screen, but unless you're nitpicking while watching high-resolution video, when contrast and color differences may be easier to spot, it's unlikely to disappoint. Videos look crisp and sharp, and the screen is bright enough for viewing outdoors in sunlight. It's Samsung's own Exynos 1580 processor inside with 8GB or 12GB of RAM, just like the Galaxy A56 phone. It may not have the guts for the top games at the highest graphics settings, but it's fine playing Asphalt Legends, Unite and Magic, The Gathering Arena. The 8000 mAh battery is smaller than cells found in other tablets, but it still returns about 20 hours of mixed use on a single charge, and the 45-watt wired charging only needs about 100 minutes to recharge it. Special mention should go to Samsung's One UI 7 software, which is built over Android 15, as it's neat, logical, feature-packed, and reliable. If you already use One UI on your Samsung smartphone, you'll feel right at home immediately. Samsung includes a stylus in the box with the Galaxy Tab S10 FE, and it's a nice addition, even if it is fairly basic. It's responsive enough to write notes, and I enjoyed using it when playing some games, as the large touchscreen can be a little awkward to use if the game isn't fully optimized for a tablet. There are some other slight irritations, such as the tiny fingerprint sensor being a pain to quickly locate, but once I'd settled down into using it for games, video, and browsing Reddit and the web, it became a faithful partner day to day. There's also a larger size, the Galaxy Tab S10 FE Plus, if you don't mind a 13.1-inch display. At number 5. Lenovo Idea Tab Pro. Lenovo often has a promotion on the Idea Tab Pro that brings the price below $300. If you want to spend any lower, I suggest you look at Amazon's Fire tablets, like the one we recommend below. Otherwise, this is a nice price for a well-rounded Android tablet. The LCD screen has a sharp 3K resolution spread across a 12.7-inch screen. The speakers sound great, and there's an included stylus to jot down notes or doodle. The MediaTek Dimensity 8300 chip is surprisingly powerful, as I barely saw any issues with performance. The tablet had no trouble editing large RAW files in Adobe Lightroom. The downside is that it launched with Android 14, and while it has received the update to Android 15, Lenovo's software policy is lackluster. This tablet won't get any new version updates after Android 16, though security updates will keep going for a good while longer. At number 6. Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 Plus and Tab S10 Ultra. If the tablets we've covered so far are all on the small side and you prefer something more like a big laptop, then consider Samsung's Tab Galaxy S10 Plus and Tab S10 Ultra. I'm specifically focusing on the Ultra and its massive, 14.6-inch screen. It's the size of a 15-inch MacBook Air but half the weight at 718 grams without a keyboard case, making it somewhat more convenient to carry around. If you do take it out and about, the IP68 dust and water resistance rating gives it a reassuring level of durability. Samsung added the same, very effective anti-reflective coating scene on the Galaxy S25 Ultra to the Tab S10 Ultra, ensuring the screen is visible in varying lighting conditions, and the AMOLED display has rich contrast levels and vibrant colors. The 120Hz refresh rate keeps social media and web apps scrolling smoothly, and the screen supports the included excellent S Pen stylus, which magnetically attaches to the back of the chassis when not in use. There are two keyboard cases available, primarily separated by the addition of a trackpad. Samsung's multitasking features and the DeX desktop mode, combined with the large screen, make this an excellent all-rounder for work and play. A MediaTek Dimensity 9300 Plus processor and an 11,200 mAh battery power the Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra, and it should return around 2 days of use, based on 5 hours of screen time per day, on a single charge. You'll need patience when it comes time to recharge the battery, with Samsung's 45-watt charging system taking at least 2.5 hours to take it to 100%. There's very little missing from the Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra, but you're going to have to splash out to get this full Ultra experience, as it's possible to spend almost $2,000 if you want the most storage space and a keyboard case. This is high-performance laptop territory, and even at its cheapest, the Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra is more expensive than the OnePlus Pad 3. But the hardware is fantastic, the screen is big and beautiful, and there's heaps of power. The Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra is perhaps the ultimate Android tablet around. At number 7. Amazon Fire Max 11. Let's get the important bit out of the way. The Amazon Fire Max 11 runs Android, but it's Amazon's version, and it doesn't come with the Google Play Store, instead directing you to Amazon's App Store for all your apps. You may find some apps you want are missing from Amazon's App Store. You can easily check online before buying, and you won't benefit from Google's usual suite of apps and services either. There are ways to install the Google Play Store, but you may prefer to get a full Android tablet instead and save yourself the trouble. If none of this worries you and you regularly shop through Amazon, read books purchased through Amazon, and watch shows on Prime, the Fire Max 11 is the ideal portable way to enjoy it all. It's far from the highest specification tablet. It has an 11-inch, 2000 by 1200 LCD screen, a MediaTek 8188 processor, 4 GB of RAM, and either 64 GB or 128 GB of storage, but it performs better than the numbers suggest, and it's easy to live with daily. Using the tablet for about 4 hours a day has meant the 7500 mAh cell lasts for 4 days, although charging is slow and takes at least 2 hours. Amazon's keyboard case is excellent. The soft touch material and the magnetic rear panel make it feel high quality. It doesn't need charging or pairing with the tablet, so it's always ready to go, and the keyboard is sensibly spaced with a pleasing feel to the key presses. The lack of suitable office apps in Amazon's App Store holds the Fire Max 11 down as a work machine, and it's where finding out how to install Google Play becomes a benefit. At full price, the Fire Max 11 is a decent value, but it's well worth waiting for an Amazon deal to pick it up with the keyboard. They come along often and put the slate under $200.